Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Concast for Game Week 5. I'm your host, Swan. We have with us today JK.
Hi.
The pseudo-American Prophet.
Shit.
And
What's up, boys?
We have Top Marks joining us via audio and his cam driver screenshot.
Hello.
We might have TFF join us as things go on. All right, so let's get right into the agenda. I'll share the screen in a second, but while we get going, the first part of the question we have, and many of people are asking, I think, for in terms of the wild card, is goalkeeper rotation. So why don't we start? Most people look to be going on to the keeper from Wolves and then adding one to that. Top Marks, I think this question might have come from you. Do you want to kind of kick it off with your thoughts?
Yeah, sure. So I was just worried about Hammer, really, and whether he's because Kenneth Tang, who commented on my article this week, seems to think that Hammer won't be first choice. Does that matter? Do we agree, and does it matter? Is the first question. Do we just perma-play Patricio?
I think if you're looking to save the money on the pair and 8.5 max, then yeah, I don't think it matters.
Yeah. If you want a rotation, don't get Hammer. If you're happy to perma-play, then Hammer's an option, or you could consider the Ryan and Button option.
Which I haven't put, yeah. Okay.
Because then you have...
I would look at Bego. Honestly, I would look at Bego. Whatever you guys say about shitty-ass Bournemouth defense, which, granted, it is, but they're always going to be save points. And, for example, with Foster, like the dude that I have right now is like he has no save points. Nothing. It's like 1 point or like 6. That's it. With Begovic, even if he concedes, you can easily look at 4 points. So
I'm just going to bring up the save issues on this one.
By that same rationale, what about Hart?
I'm not sure if he's going to be the first choice in like 2 weeks.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So Begovic will be first choice regardless.
Yeah.
So because I'm looking at possibly shipping Foster this week to either Begovic or Patricio. So I'm just throwing an idea out there. So
yeah,
with Bournemouth, you have Leicester home, Burnley away, Palace home, Watford away, Saints home, Fulham away.
So,
that's Begovic, yeah.
That's Begovic, yeah. I can't hear you, JK. You're breaking up.
Yeah, you're breaking up.
I can't hear you, JK.
Sorry. Right, I'll log out and come back in and talk without me.
You're fine. You're fine, actually, now. Now you're fine.
Yeah, you're all right.
Okay. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, you're good now.
Okay, so Hart and Fabianski are at the top on 21 saves.
Yeah.
You've got Patricio with 12, Begovic with 10, Foster with 6, Ryan with 13.
Yeah, and also keep in mind, what I would look at, it's not just the number of saves, it's how many saves come in one game. Foster has 6 fucking saves. Yeah. 6 saves in 4 games. That's fucking awful.
Yeah.
Well, just looking at Begovic, he's got 4-1, 4-1.
So basically, yeah. Like, just give it an idea because he played against some good teams, I think.
Yeah.
So, and regardless,
Ryan has 3-6. Yeah, Ryan has 3-6-1-3. So you got 6 saves in a 1-0 defeat to Liverpool. So
pretty good.
Yeah.
And depending on how long you keep him, Patricio, he has some attacking teams on his fixture list. I mean, Burnley's not, but then you got United on their day can attack. You have Palace. Eventually you'll get Spurs and Arsenal.
Yeah.
And then
Watford at home are pretty attacking.
Yep, Watford at home. And then in between, later on, between Spurs, Arsenal, and Chelsea, you have Huddersfield and Cardiff.
Yeah, I'm just going to bring up, say, Ryan as an example. If you wanted to go for play every week.
Yep.
They've up until 7, it's a little bit difficult because after Saints, they've got Spurs at home and then City away. But then you're looking at West Ham, Newcastle, Wolves, Everton, Cardiff, Leicester, Huddersfield, Crystal Palace and Burnley. as an 8-game streak of fixtures.
Mm. That was Ryan, was it?
That was Ryan.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Button is 4-0, so it's the same.
Yeah. So it's just if you're going to perma play, you could go for Ryan and get Button, and then you don't have to worry about your goalkeeping. But at the same point, Begovic and Boruc is the same.
Yeah. And Tom, you and I talked about weeks ago about wild carding around game week 8, which I'm still planning to do unless things really go wrong. That's the perfect time to get in Ryan Button and Gross as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There is another option that may come to pass, which is Leno, if he ever gets in the team ahead of Czech.
Yeah. Yes, very good.
But I think he might be the Europa keeper, so we'll have to see on that one.
I think Leno is next year.
Definitely next year. I mean, it's a point of how long do you roll with Czech now? What are you gaining by rolling with Czech?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, on my thought on the keepers, I think Wolves look really good at defence. So I don't think Patricia is going to get a lot of save points necessarily, because I don't think he's going to face as many shots as some of the other guys we've mentioned. But clean sheets is, I think Wolves will get a few clean sheets, which is why I like him.
Fair enough.
Yeah. Would you look at Bali instead? Because I mean, it's hard to go with Bali if you're going to go with Patricio in that, for a double.
Yeah, I probably wouldn't look at getting a double up in the Wolves defence. So I wouldn't get Bennett. I wouldn't get Bali. I mean, I like those options. I'm going to look at Bego. I'm going to look at Ryan as options, definitely, when we finish the cast. Yeah. But yeah, I wouldn't do a Wolves double up.
Yeah. Boys, I gotta go for work, unfortunately. I just want to swing by and say hi. So, yeah.
If
you guys want to take a look at my team, if not, it's okay at the end if you got time. So, I'll see you guys later on.
We'll do the rate my teams, and if it's not there, I'll bring it up on the site.
It's fine. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. See ya.
No problem.
Okay, see ya.
I'm going to permanently make my screen, because I know this thing goes by who's talking, but I'm going to permanently make it here so we can scroll through and see the rate my teams. So first up is Jossie. I don't know if you can see the whole team there, or do you need me to?
Yeah.
Got it?
Yeah, we can. Yeah.
So he's on a -4 right now, and just wants to know if he's good to go.
Yeah, I mean, he drunkenly took a hit for Zaha to Mitrovic last night, so.
Let's have a look.
I mean, it's the Wayne Bissaka versus Robertson.
Yeah.
I'm starting Robertson this weekend, but I'm also I'm not a great.
I'm looking at selling Robertson this weekend.
I mean, before Saints, but I mean, if you're not going to play him in 7 and 8, then maybe it'll work out too.
Well, we'll get to that because my team's on the.
All right.
Yeah, your screen isn't permanent.
You can make it permanent though.
Just
click where Swan's thing is at the bottom, and you can click
I
make
see.
it permanent.
Yeah.
I thought it was something Swan had to do.
All right, can we see that now?
Well, I think it's good.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's good to go. I think Josh's team is good to go.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm not sure that Mitrovic for a hit was the best move this week, but I think possibly long term after this week, it could be reasonably well set.
Definitely after this weekend.
Kante, he's got Kante there in case of a Walcott no-show. So,
did I not see the team got leaked, or was that just a rumor?
Yeah, well, TFF did post a leaked team. Apparently, the guy's pretty reliable, and it had Walcott in it.
Mm-hmm. Did it have Tozen up front?
Yeah, had Tozen up front.
This is the last freaking shot for me this week.
Yeah, apparently he might be dropping tonight, which is a bit of an annoyance.
Yeah, I'm not. I'm already on a -4, so I'm just gonna have to eat it. All right. Another Jossie team. Wonderful.
Oh yeah, so this is what he would wildcard to. Hey team, hey yeah.
Oh. All right. So his question was: keep what he has or hit the wildcard button. Is that it?
So just looking. So essentially, he's going to be wildcarding to change his. Well, first of all, he's got Lucas Moura in there, which I'm not convinced about, with Son coming back after this week.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't wildcard to that.
don't understand the billing, love, just because he scored last week. Suddenly he's the must-have 4.5.
Yeah, this
I wouldn't want.
this seems like a total wild card for Hazard. That's what it looks like.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, I don't think.
No, I wouldn't wild card to that.
All right, Top Marks, this is yours.
Yeah. So I've got a few. There's TFF underneath. I didn't put any pictures up. I just got a few permanents. So, I was looking at going Patricia in goal with Hammer. Let's say at the moment that might change after our chat, but I'll have a look. I like Alonso, Mendy, and Robertson. I like Rico from Bournemouth. I think he's got great value at him. 4.5. Takes corners, left-footed, gets forward. I think Daniel's possibly a threat when he comes back, but I think Rico. I think they have him. For me, I want to take a risk on him.
I don't think
put him in.
I don't think Daniel's is a threat to Rico. To be honest, Rico came into the team as soon as he was available.
Yeah, I'm excited about Rico. I think he's a good player. And then the other permanents, I definitely want Mane, Hazard, Pedro, and Aguero. And I've put Billing in brackets, but I mean, it could be any 4.5. So basically, then it's a straight choice. You've got A, B, C. I've got a 4-4-2 when I have Lacazette, Dilver, and Rico. Rico would be there, but he's just look at the different options. 4-4-2 with Lacazette, Dilver, Rico. 3-4-3 with Zaha, Ings, Dilver. Or 4-3-3 with Zaha, Lacazette, PVA. So I don't know which out of those three options anyone prefers.
I like B just because I'm not sold on Lacazette starting more often than not. We know he can score from the bench, but I do think Zaha really is the key talisman in that entire team. You see how they struggle when he's not there. I do like Ings. Ings' stats are incredible, and Southampton still have pretty decent fixtures. And Dilva seems to be in favor, at least for now. Although the KDB news was kind of concerning today that he's back already almost. So, but I'd still lean towards D. You're set on getting Robertson now, even though in theory one of the next four is the only one that looks really good for them. The Saints matchup. I'm sure he can.
No, I'm still getting Robertson. I think basically I don't want to mess around with the defenders. I think I kind of, when I'm looking at on a wild card, looking at getting players in, the players, especially the lower value players, I want players I'm going to have for a long period of time. And I think Robertson's a great player as well. They've got the best defence, Liverpool, in my opinion. And Robertson's a huge amount of energy, great attacker. He's a leader in the team. I think he's really good value. So I think he'll do well.
And you have a good bench if you need to be benched. I would vote. I'd vote B in this case.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm with Swan. I would probably go B as well. Zaha being back is a good thing. Have you considered Jimenez instead of Ings, perhaps?
Yeah, I have. I just prefer on an eye test. I think he offers a lot more. I mean, they're both great value, but I think Ings really looks underpriced. And the game's about value, and I think Ings is one of the great ones to have. But then again, I'm also quite excited about Zaha. Let me talk about Lacazette, because I think he was man of the match in the last game. He has looked sharp when he's come on and in pre-season, and I know late riser as a fan. I think he could be a great differential. I guess the only problem with him is he doesn't really fall into the value for money category when you've got players like Zaha and Ings who are so much cheaper. And Zaha, could be great at the talisman, as Swan says. They're tough choices. I kind of think B just because I also get 1.2 in the bank. But Lacazette could be a really good differential, even though I think only late riser agrees with me.
I don't have the quality at all. I just, they're hitting Europe now, so we don't know how that will affect the lineups as well.
Yeah.
I like E as well. I think Lacazette is good going forward, but I'm not sure whether Ings on a wild card right now is making too much sense. I mean, you could probably rotate him with Wan-Bissaka. He rotates well with Bissaka, but I mean,
Mm.
Southampton's fixtures over the next 4 or 5 are pretty tough. So I think I like A more because Delva's probably safe for the next 2 or 3 at least. So I think it's A or C is what I'd go for.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You don't
In
think
fact,
just
I think I
because?
like Seymour. I like Seymour. Apart from the fact
Okay.
that Zaha might get benched this week, um, I think C is pretty good. I'd actually pick Mitrovic over Zaha and pick C.
Okay. Even though
I'm
Mitrovic
surprised by
has,
considering Mitrovic in the wild card.
I don't know. It's just a yes. Maybe I should because he's good value. But I think with Mitrovic, I kind of see is because he's cheaper than Zaha. He's a player I can always go to, and I didn't want him for City. I don't. I just. I'm not convinced about Mitrovic yet.
Have you thought about Jimenez?
Yeah, JK was just saying. I think I prefer. I just on an eye test. I prefer Ings to him.
There was
If
some
we were going to
injury
go
concern
down.
regarding Jimenez as well.
Sorry.
There was some injury concern regarding
He's fit.
Jimenez as well. Is he fit?
He's fit. He was picked. There was a video of him in training today.
I see.
He's fit.
I mean, just to answer TFF, you said, why get Ings now? And the only reason get Ings now is, and it's like I wouldn't want to, I kind of the way I want to play the game this year is the cheaper players. I want to get them in longer term, in and out as and when the fixtures come along. And I just think Ings value-wise is really good. And then I'm happy with my defence with that Ings version because I've got 4 defenders I'm happy playing. That's why I would put him in there in B. But yeah, maybe C. C's very Crystal Palace heavy. So I'm waiting on. What do we think? Are Crystal Palace we expect them to do well. They've got the fixtures. They've got Zaha and PVA, who are both really, got high ceilings. But are Palace in a slump? Are they going to come out fighting after the international break? What do you guys think?
I guess Palace, Zaha obviously is one thing. The other option is obviously Tompkins is also possibly back, and we know what a difference he makes alongside Sacco.
Yeah.
So with those two there, I mean, it's the sort of fixture you would really expect a Palace asset to deliver in against Huddersfield.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, I'm just looking at it now. So if you look at Zaha as an example, so you've got Huddersfield, Newcastle, Bournemouth, Wolves, and Everton. So the next sort of maybe 4 are really good for Palace, but from 9 down to about 13, it's a pretty horrific run, in all honesty. And it's Everton, Arsenal, Chelsea, Spurs, and United in a row.
And I was thinking at that point, Zaha could become Mitrovic or Ings if I don't go with him now, or somebody else. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're sort of, it's a nice price point for me to transfer to.
It is. And the thing is, if he's fit, there is the potential for Zaha to get some points and some price rises out of that run.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So which one would you go for, JK? A, B, or C?
I'm probably marginally in favour still of B, because you've got a little bit of money as well to play with if a punt goes wrong somewhere. So you need to lose Silver, for example. But again, and also I don't like A because I just see Khan's name in there and it makes me vomit, to be honest. And C doesn't look too bad, but who are you going to put in that 4.4 slot? Other than
I don't know.
Bennett or Wan-Bissaka?
No, it would be a midfielder. It'd be
a midfielder. Okay, and there isn't really anybody worth having at that price.
No, I mean, they would be the 5th sub. I guess Rico would be first sub and Billing second sub.
Yeah, but you're pretty much relying on Rico as your only useful option, in all honesty, in C.
Yeah.
Billing will not score every week. It really is that simple.
Yeah. I like Rico. I think Rico will be. I'm almost. I want to start him. I almost kind of like A as an option because Rico starts, but yeah, he's probably. I mean, yeah. I take your point. B does seem better value across the team. There's money in the bank.
It's not just value. It's more. I like the flexibility better.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
I think the main difference between B and C is whether you expect Van Aanholt to outscore Ings over the next 4 or 5 weeks.
Yeah.
And I think that's likely, which is why I'm saying C is probably the better option.
I mean, I'm just bringing this up now, and I'll give you a list of all the midfielders that 4.4 would buy you. McDonald, Kyle,
I know.
Sabiri, McTominay, Obiang, Gibbs-White, Elneny, Pugh, Gunnarsson, Damore, Ampadu, Hudson-Odoi, Punchin, Kai, Bangamine, Aite. There's just basically
Plenty
a
of
load
choice, is what you're saying.
in that bracket, and that's totally the only thing you could maybe do with C there is go to Vardy and use that 500,000 to get somebody slightly better. But again, I don't like the idea of 2 mids in that price range. So that is massively putting me off C, in all honesty.
Okay. Boss, what do you think? Are you A, B, or C, boss?
I don't really love any of the options.
Okay.
I probably lean towards C just because mainly I don't know much about Rico. I've not really watched him play much, so I don't really know how good he is as an every week starter. I don't really like David Silva as an option. I just think City mids are going to be really hard to predict and who's going to start. So yeah, probably C at a push, but it leaves you a bit thin on the bench.
Yeah. Okay, thanks, guys.
All right, TFF, since you joined us on the call, do you want to go over your team?
Yeah, so I mean, as you can see, the main issues in my team appear to be Morata and Mkhitaryan on paper now that Walcott's been declared fit. So I mean, I'm really not sure what I should do here, to be honest. I mean, I have quite a lot of options. I was thinking of buying Hazard and Jimenez for a hit and getting rid of Mkhitaryan and Morata. I'm not so sure about Jimenez though. I mean, I'm not so sure about his injury status. Even if he's back training, will he start? So I'm a bit put off by that. What would you guys suggest overall looking at this team?
You've already used your wild card, correct?
Yeah, I have.
Yeah.
I like the moves that you suggested. I think getting Hazard and Jimenez could be quite a good move. I like the look of Jimenez. I'm probably going to go. I'm very tempted to go with him over Ings on my wild card, just because I think the fixtures look good. I think Wolves have played pretty well from the start of the season, given the tough fixtures, and the fixtures are now easing up. I think Jimenez will probably find his feet and will be a bit more of a goal threat. So I like him as an option, and I think Hazard over these next few fixtures could be gold. A lot of people have their money tied up in Mane and Salah, so it'll be a nice differential as well. So I think those could be really good moves.
Yeah, I like the idea as well. You got
with that, I feel is that it leaves me exposed with 2 5-1-5 strikers.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, that's
that's difficult to get out of.
Yeah.
With another option, TFF, Morata Dimitrovic and upgrade Mkhitaryan, what does that leave you?
Yeah, I mean, I was thinking I could just make the free transfer of either Morata to Mitrovic this week, but then again, I don't think Mitrovic's ceiling is very high, so I'd rather probably ship Mkhitaryan for Lingard instead. I think Lingard's probably safe for the next 3. I like him more than Pedro and Madison, so I mean that's another option I'm looking at.
United folks can have more of an option on Lingard than I do. I don't rate the attack at all, but it is. I'd almost go Pedro in this sense. But yeah, I mean, other might be better. Give Morata one more run out there. It is Cardiff, and just do Mkhitaryan to Lingard or one of the other keepers.
Okay,
So yeah, I agree with you, TFF. I don't like the idea of having Ings and Jimenez. It was something I looked at the start of the international break, and I'm really put off. It's different for me because I've technically still got the wild card to get myself out of it. But for you who doesn't, I don't like the idea of having two strikers at that price because it's difficult to jump off one of them. If one of them suddenly picks up an injury or something like that, you're going to be struggling to get off them. For me, I think Mkhitaryan out is probably going to be the priority there. Pedro would be my pick, but it depends on how badly you wanted to get Hazard in. Because obviously, at that point, you're going to have to ditch Morata or Pedro to get him in. So, I guess for anyone else around that price point.
Yeah, I'm not too desperate to get Hazard. I mean, if it comes at the cost of like ruining the structure, then I don't think it's worth it.
But can I just say, the game is about finding value, and if you've suddenly got two forwards who happen to be 5.5 or 5.6 who offer great value, then that just simply means you've got more money to put in the rest of your team.
Yeah.
And you can, if you wanted to, you're only 1 million away from making one of them a 4.5. If you wanted to go with a 4.5 striker, I think it's more a question of where you think the value lies, perhaps this year. And if you think you're getting more value in midfield and defence than you are from forwards, and I think getting Jimenez is a perfectly good option.
That's interesting. I have looked at it, and I mean, I'll be priced out if I don't make the change tonight. So I have some time to think over it.
Mkhitaryan is close to dropping.
Yeah.
So it's not the worst option I've heard. It's what Top Mark says is certainly someone can go along with in the sense that they're being value there. And my issue is simply if one of them gets injured, you're either having to downgrade somewhere to get out of it, or you're having to find cash somewhere to turn one of them into Mitrovic or Arnie or Zaha or someone of that ilk. You have to find the money from somewhere. And I guess Hazard or Mane in that case would be the obvious routes.
Or you downgrade to a 4.5.
Yeah, you basically downgrade to Kamara.
Yeah.
Yep. All right.
But then
Tough choices.
Yeah.
Okay. The only other thing I would say is on that, once you downgrade to Kamara, I guess you're looking at what you do with the extra cash in that point, because you're going to be looking at playing TA or Wan-Bissaka every week once you've gone down that route.
Yeah, for the meanwhile, I'm planning to rotate Ings and Wan-Bissaka over the next 3 or 4 weeks.
Yeah, okay, I'm all right with that. Anyway, so those are the options. I'd either do Mkhitaryan to Pedro or Lingard, or go with what you said. It depends on how badly you want Hazard.
What are your thoughts on Lingard, JK?
Right now, I mean, particularly with Rashford out this week, I think he's almost certainly nailed this week. The issue I have is I don't think he represents the same amount of value as he did last season. The increase, obviously, there's the price increase that's come along. So, say this season, just looking, he's what? 6'8". Last season, he was about 5'5", something like that. So, how much are you expecting from him for essentially £7 million player? He got 8 goals, 6 assists last season. Would that be an acceptable return for a player of that price?
Yeah, but he got limited minutes. So, I mean, he was okay for me last season. I mean, I'd take a goal in the next 2 fixtures at that price. That's okay.
Yeah, I mean, I don't dislike him as an option. I just feel like Pedro potentially has a higher upside.
Yeah, fair enough.
Okay. All right.
Right,
We
okay,
ready?
Bo's dog.
Yep. Goes wild card.
Yeah, Bo's dog's wild card.
The bank needs the fourth mid.
Um,
And he talks a bit about other options below.
right, let me just have a look at all the stuff he's got to say.
Considering more Eriksson, Dilva for that spot, or try to find the cash for Sterling.
If it was me, I'd maybe stick with Pereira ahead of Madison. Get yourself 0.3, and then you've got 10 million.
10 million.
I mean, first of all, the obvious thing is that he's risking going without Salah.
Yeah, very true, because you would want him
He's
back
sat on you,
nine.
as am I.
So if that's the intent, and there's no turning back on that, I agree with you, JK. I think Pereira is probably the better option over Madison.
Which leaves him with 10 million on a midfielder in that spot.
I don't mind Eriksson in that spot at 10 million, to be honest.
No, I think Eriksson could be worth the punt. I just also wonder if he could get away with it. The other option is he likely to want Richarlison back?
Knowing how Bo plays with the fixtures and so forth, if Everton, while they're still good, I'm not sure if he does it or.
Yeah. I mean, I'd say go for Ali, but obviously with him being out this week, that rules him out of contention. So I'd be tempted to maybe take Pereira over Madison and go with Eriksson.
If he wants the money for Sterling, I mean, the obvious sell is Zaha, but I don't think it's. I don't know if Sterling at that expense is worth it.
Yeah, and again, Wilson. I mean, he thinks Wilson got riches. I'd be tempted to take Jimenez over Wilson. That's another way he could free up a bit of cash for Sterling.
Sterling could be a great differential, but
it's
just
I mean, let me just pull up his ownership. So his ownership is 2.5%. So that's a crazy differential if he can make it work. He's got 9.7. So he needs 1.3. So Wilson to Jimenez wouldn't be quite enough. But if he went with Pereira and Wilson over Jimenez, that might do it. Or even just drop Zaha to Mitrovic.
How much is his Jimenez?
Jimenez is 5.5.
Yeah, you still be 0.3 short.
But if you went with Pereira ahead of Madison.
No, if he did that, he'd still be. Because if you stick with Pereira and then lose Madison, that's 10 million. Wilson to Jimenez is another 0.7. And Sterling is 11, right?
Oh, so he could go for Mitrovic instead of Zaha.
Yes. That would be the other option.
And so he could do that, go for Pereira, Mitrovic, and Jimenez, and then put Sterling in the Madison slot. Otherwise, I would keep Pereira and go for Eriksson. But 2.5%, Sterling could be a crazy differential.
What's his rotation risk once Champions League starts?
I mean, the guy started 2 out of the 3 games he's been available for.
Yeah.
I mean, every City player has a rotation risk once the Champions League starts. So, you know.
Just if you go Sterling, though, you weakened your bench then.
But at 11 million, if you start to wonder about his minutes, he's an easy guy to lose.
True. Yeah,
and then you can reinvest the cash.
Yep.
So if he wants Sterling, that's how I would get him. Otherwise, I'd keep Pereira, or I'd just shove Eriksson. I'd go pick one of Pereira or Madison and just shove Eriksson in that spot.
I mean, I'd go Dilva over Eriksson as a Spurs fan. I just think Eriksson can play deeper in matches. There'll be some games where he's in a more advanced ball. There's some roles when he's much further back. I just think he's not quite as, with Murray playing at the moment, the system they're playing, I don't think he's quite as threatening as he was last year at the moment.
Good point.
Okay, that's reasonable from someone with more knowledge.
Yeah, I
Okay,
agree with
so
that.
Any other
Eric's usually deeper these days. I think another good option for Bow could be to actually buy Richarlison. If he gets Richarlison this week, he can easily play 4 at the back and bench Richarlison. Then he can have Richarlison next week onwards for his fixtures. So I think that's not the worst move either.
Yeah, that's also feasible. And if he goes for
that's what
Richarlison, he could upgrade Wilson or Zaha to somebody else.
Richarlison only dropped 0.1, right? I think he's
6.6 now, I think.
6.
Yeah.
He is 6'6", all right.
6.6.
So assuming you sold him at the right price point, you don't lose anything getting him back now. So.
No, and I'm just going to check, because obviously he's going to be price protected when he comes back.
He should be for 8 days. So.
For 8 days, yeah. So Mkhitaryan, by the way. Oh, and if he did want Ericsson, he's apparently due for a drop tonight.
Richarlison's ownership is 13.8, so that came down good.
But he's not anywhere close to dropping again.
Yeah. I'm just saying
and those 13%, they're probably dead teams.
Very likely. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So good luck, Bo. Late risers also on a wild card. His current view is nothing in the bank. Safe wild card team is above, and then the sexy wild card team is below.
Right. So we're basically looking at Yedlin, Salah, Schürrle, and Jimenez versus Doherty, Sterling, Lingard, and Mitrovic.
It's not that much more sexy.
No, I mean, again, it's basically Salah v no Salah.
Yeah, it's Salah, no Salah. Pretty much it. Again, I defer to United fans on Lingard. If you feel he's a really good option, not only this week but going forward, then the sexy team could work here.
The only thing I don't like with the lower option is the triple Wolves defence, because if Jimenez suddenly becomes a viable option or Jota suddenly finds his form or something, then there's no room to jump on a Wolves attacker.
So the option again is you can go Ryan Button here or Begovic or whatever.
Yeah.
I would also say in the safe option, he had Pedro or Lingard, so you could get Lingard instead of Pedro in the safe wildcard team.
Oh, true. And he already has Hazard, so he has a Chelsea mid for this one. So
yeah,
that's not bad actually. I think that could work out nicely.
But Lingard over Pedro in the safe one.
That's correct. Yeah. I mean, he's looking at only 2 real stalwarts in defense in this case, and then I guess he was rotating.
Yeah, rotating.
In the safety.
I mean, if he went for Lingard, he could potentially upgrade his Newcastle defender. Get Lascelles or Shah, who have a little bit more attacking threat and bonus potential than Yedlin.
Yeah. So how often is he going to play? Is he going to rotate?
I think he said he's planning to rotate his the Newcastle defender with Wan-Bissaka and Bennett for that last spot.
Okay. Then yeah, that could work. I don't know about Lascelles, but yeah, you could go Bully over, and then but I think he wants Bennett for the 4.1.
Yeah, I think Bennett's about the value, but again, it just going for Lingard. Mind you, Lingard's the same price as Pedro, isn't he? Saying that.
He might be less now because Pedro's risen a few times, right?
No, they're both 6'8".
Oh, 6'8". Okay.
Both 6'8", so forget that idea.
I think that it could work out nice though if you split up the Chelsea assets and go Lingard of a safe team.
Yeah. I think it depends. If he feels punty, I really like the second team apart from the triple Wolves defence.
So what I was just looking at is similar to the second team with Sterling over Salah, but still fitting Mane into the team just for some coverage. But I know he's really got his heart set on having Lacazette, so it's not really possible
so
to
you could downgrade Lacazette to somebody else and then put
play Zaha.
Mane in the Pedro
Yeah.
slot.
Mane
Yeah.
is Pedro, yeah. I mean, if he's set on that, that's one thing. But Laka Dimitrovic lets Pedro become Mane, I would think.
Well, I mean, he's got Mitrovic in that second team, so he'd have to go with
second team. Yeah,
he'd have to go with Zaha or him or Luther Wolf and say Ings.
things. Yeah.
Personally, I like the safe team more for obvious reasons. I mean, the second team, he's leaving himself exposed to no Liverpool attack, which is very risky.
Yeah, I would agree.
So I think it's he's got to go with the safe one.
I would agree. It's just the Pedro versus Lingard option.
Yeah, I would potentially though take Lingard over Pedro.
Yeah, I was actually speaking to him on WhatsApp, and that's exactly what he was saying. He's probably swapping between Pedro and Lingard, even in the safe draft.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. If he's set on Laka, then I like that sort of safe team. But otherwise, Vardy's one to consider as well. And even Arnie. I don't think. I mean, even in tough fixtures, West Ham have been poor, but Arnautovic is still picking up points.
Yeah, I would never go to a player that's got those kind of fixtures, regardless. It's just
Yeah, his fixtures are awful. Let's be honest. I mean, Chelsea, United, and Tottenham in his next three.
Yeah.
But that being said, his run from about game week 14 is quite ridiculous.
Yeah. I think he'll be popular and then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Boss, you're still on. You want to talk us through your wild card?
Yeah. It's been a tough one. I've never had so much trouble planning a wild card, like in all the time playing. But basically, I was choosing between this team and the one that I showed, the alternate scenario whereby I swap Zaha for Lacazette, Maddison for Jezel, and Trippier for Chilwell. I think I'm leaning towards this one just because I think it's a little safer, a little bit more nailed on. I'm not set on Lingard. He could be Pedro or he could be Walcott or Richarlison, just benching Richarlison and playing Wan-Bissaka this week or Bennett.
So I'm going to jump in first. Sorry, boss. I don't like Trip right now because with Lloris injured, and with the Champions League starting, I just wonder, is he going to go with Aurier for the Champions League and Trippier for League, or is he going to save Trippier for the Champions League? But there's also the Vaughan factor, and that maybe lessens my faith in the Spurs defence just a little bit.
Yeah. I'm quite tempted by Chilwell. I think he looks good. I'd be fine putting him in there and freeing up the million. I'm just not sure where I'd spend that money. Maybe on the Lingard spot, but I don't know who would go in there for like
Use Charlotte, right? You could downgrade. Oh, I'm sorry. You're talking upgrading Lingard.
Yeah. I'm not sure how
to get to David.
You could get maybe a slightly better midfielder than Sjoberg in for that last spot, or get yourself rotate Patricio with somebody.
Yeah, to swap Trippier for Shaw and maybe upgrade Ings to Mitrovic.
Well, Shaw's out this week, so
yeah, I know, but he has Bennett as well to cover.
Well, yeah, I mean you have Wan-Bissaka this week, so it's not the end of the world.
Yeah, basically, I think that's a very good move long term.
The alternative is to go kind of rogue and use the team that I posted in the chat just now with Sterling over Salah. It's a little bit more punty, but I'm tempted.
So I'm just read this out. I mean, while you're on the agenda, so it's keepers estate. Basically, the difference is here. We've got Chilwell instead of Trippier. We've got Walcott and Sterling instead, and we've got Mane, Sterling, and Walcott instead of Salah, Maddison, and Lingard. And then we've got Zaha and then we've basically got Jimenez instead of Ings.
Yeah. I think going without Salah is big risk, big reward potentially. Salah, I'm not sure whether it's the play, but it's a lot. 13 mil is a lot of money tied up in one player when Mane's outperforming him right now. So I'm still kind of on the fence about that one.
I think it's far too risky to go with that. Personally, it's way too risky.
I mean, the issue for me comes around game weeks 9 and 10 when you've got Huddersfield Cardiff back to back. I mean, that's prime Salah captain totally right there.
Yeah, and he could really punish it. It's basically his season's over at that point if he hauls.
But why don't you could get him back in? I mean, that's still a few weeks away.
Yeah, that's a few weeks, but it's. I mean, you've got Sterling, so maybe the step up's not going to be too bad because I don't think Salah's going to rise very much at 13 mil. People are either going to go without or keep him all season or just go without him. There's not going to be a lot of trading back and forth on Salah.
I mean, look, basically, I think the point is this next 4 game weeks, if you wanted to go without Salah, now's the time to do it. So it really depends how lucky you're feeling, really. And I'm feeling lucky. So I'm going to go without Salah.
Nice.
I mean, I must be honest, if I'm planning sort of game week 7 or 8 wildcard, I am really tempted to sell him now and then wildcard him back in. But we'll get again. That's another option we can get to.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'm no clearer to me, but
like basically, I do like the second team, but it's how brave you're feeling. But the issue is to wildcard him. It's one thing to wildcard him out and buy him back. It's another thing to sell him and wildcard him back in. And it's how brave you're feeling. Because I don't think there's much potential to punish you much over the next 4. It's the 2 immediately after that. It's 9 and 10 when you could get absolutely burnt.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think also your alternative, Sterling. I think Sterling it's an annoying price point because he's the sort of player you're never going to captain. And I don't think you're going to captain, especially when you have Aguero. So you're paying a lot, but then he has got a high ceiling. I prefer David Silva. I think they've both got a fairly equal rotation risk, and Silva allows, Silva's so much cheaper. But Sterling does have a higher ceiling, and they have got good fixture, City. If you wanted to have a go at doing something like that, now is the time to do it.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I would agree.
I mean, Sterling has scored in 2 out of his 3 starts, so
yeah, he suits Pep's system well.
Yeah.
All right, guys, feel free to move on.
Sorry, boss, we tried.
right. So THM.
THM. This is 1 free transfer, 0.1 in the bank. Would you risk King falling again tonight and saving?
I think he is going to fall tonight.
I got to look at FPL stats real quick. I haven't brought it up lately.
I looked before. He is over 100.
Or 100.
He is over 100 in FPL stats.
He's in that range. I'd probably sell it. I mean, if he wants to just do a like for like, get Wilson because Wilson's rising.
Yeah, I mean, if he wants King long term, take the price drop. If he wants rid of him, just get rid.
Knowing him, I don't think he would want him long term. But yeah, that's
so. I mean, he's got Kamara, so one option is to go. The issue is Mitrovic. He's going to have to play. He's sort of going to have to play him because he's sitting on Kamara.
He doesn't have the money to get Mitrovic, right?
No, he doesn't. Yeah, he's got 6.4 and 0.1 in the bank.
Yep.
Yeah, his route basically is Wilson.
It's Wilson, Jimenez, or Ings. One of those.
Yeah.
I might go Ings in this case, possibly. Although again, you ruined your forward line. You got 2 sub 5.5s or thereabouts. On the content. Good.
There's also, I mean, there's Deeney, but again, the fixtures aren't that great. There's also there could be a cheeky differential if he wants to try it. Chris Wood. Wolves, Bournemouth, Cardiff, Huddersfield, next 4.
He's
I
6'4".
was actually looking for Chris Wood's fixtures. Next week onwards, they're pretty good.
He's got a couple of bad ones. He's got City and Chelsea back to back. But I think the next 4 or 5 are decent and they're the same price. King is 6'4", Wood is 6'4".
Yep.
I would save the transfer. Because I think having 2 transfers next week will be more valuable than a 0.1 loss on King, especially when King can get points this weekend.
So, I mean, the issue with saving it is, let's say he wants rid of King next week. Where's he going to get? Where's the other transfer going?
But well, let's see what happens next week, I suppose. But I mean,
Okay,
you could go down to, I don't know, I just feel it gives you more flexibility. Because you've also got players like, I mean, maybe you want to get rid of Kamara, maybe you want to get rid of some of the cheaper players, or maybe Pedro, or I don't know, maybe you want to upgrade Pedro next week, or upgrade Kante if you downgrade King, or I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, Wood could be an option for next week because I don't necessarily see him for him against Wolves. So again, he could be one to monitor for that sort of decent run of 3 next week because he's someone I'm actually considering instead of Mitro.
Yeah,
But
that's a good
I'll
shout.
weigh that one up.
Yeah, I'm kind of looking at it with, like, from JK's point of view. If he does save, where does the money come from to upgrade one of those guys? You're not going to want to get rid of Mane next week against Saints. Certainly not Silva or Pedro.
Maybe and certainly probably not Robertson.
For rotation fear, yeah, for rotation fear, that could be one.
So I would either get King for keeper striker, or I would just follow Tottenham, risk the price drop and save.
I mean, I think thinking ahead to next week, I mean, you could even do a mini wildcard and do 3 transfer -4. But simply the point of, I think 1 free transfer is worth more than a 0.1 price drop.
Yeah, there's an element of that.
Yep. I think I might be tempted to save in that case as well and just reassess.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. AK, this is yours.
Okay. So, yes, I've got 1.1 in the bank and 1 free. So, the first thing that concerns me here is the lack of Alonso. So, one option is to just do a straight Robertson to Alonso swap. Anybody else, I can't really, there's no point in selling Mendy. That's not even worth considering right now. The only other way I'm going to be able to get him in for anyone is to take a hit, which would basically mean I either get rid of Tosun or I swap Salah for, say, Mane. Because I don't necessarily want to... I could sell Salah for Sterling, but then I'm going without any Liverpool of any kind, which feels a bit iffy to me. So I'm either saving or finding a way to get Alonso.
I like your move. I actually do like Robert Alonso this week. Again, there's a rotation fear in 6, and then 7 and 8. Not good for clean sheets. So the hit, I think getting Alonso now before he rises even further is probably the best play.
I mean, I look at it. You've got Robertson. Let's just consider the next 4. So you've got Robertson, who's got Tottenham, Southampton, Chelsea, and City in these next 4, versus, say, Alonso, who has Cardiff, West Ham, Liverpool, and Southampton. So you've got one game where they're playing each other, where Alonso's the guy at home. One game where they're both playing Southampton, and then I would argue the other 2, Alonso has much the better fixtures.
Yep. If you're going to make a move, I would make that one. I don't foresee doing anything else for him.
I think Robert Alonso move makes a lot of sense, JK, because This is the inevitable rotation that might happen. The fixtures are getting tough, and Alonso at this moment is almost a must-own. So I'd happily make that move.
I think it was actually your original suggestion, TFF. You were the first one that, when I asked suggestions, I'd actually said I'd consider that because I hadn't. I was looking at trying to maybe move out Lindelof, but
See, that's what I would do. Move out Lindelof.
But again, Lindelof means I've got to take a hit. And I've got to find money. It basically means I'm probably going to have to sell either Salah or Tosun.
Or Neves.
Neves is not really enough money going to free up. To Lindelof, I've got 1.1 in the bank. So if I was to sell Lindelof, I need 0.8 to get to Alonso. There's really nobody I'm going to be able to get for Neves.
Yeah.
So it has to be Tosun or Salah if I was going to take a hit. And the thing for me with Lindelof, if he's going to keep playing, our fixtures are pretty decent for the next 4.
Yep.
Yeah,
No, fair enough. Yeah.
You know, Wolves at home, West Ham away, Newcastle at home. There's a decent sort of 4 games coming up for United. So maybe makes me tempted to keep Lindelof because with Jones still injured, we kept a clean sheet last time out, which makes me think that bar the enforced change of Shaw, Mourinho's going to stick with Smalling and Lindelof.
And when are you thinking of wild carding?
I'm looking at probably around game week 8.
Yeah.
8 or 9, something like that. But from either 4 game week 8 or after game week 8 over the second international break, maybe.
Yeah, Robertson to Alonso.
Yeah, Robertson to Alonso seems like a really sensible move, just based on the fixtures and potential rotation. It seems like a pretty no-brainer.
Yeah. And then next week, I'll probably do Tosun and get either Mitrovic or Wood.
Another thing I noticed with your team is that it's quite tricky, this decision to play Neves over Lindelof, Kante and Bissaka. But I think you've got it right.
I mean, it has been tricky all season. I mean, you go back to week 1, I had 33 points sitting there looking at me on the bench. So
yeah, you could play any of them. You could play any of them, but I think Neves is probably the best of them because he's on penalties. So I'd stick with what you have.
Yeah, I mean, let's say it is incredibly tough you can make a realistic case for playing any of those sort of 3 guys on the bench or Neves.
Yeah.
All right,
cheers, fellas. So I'll probably look at doing that. I'm going to check the prices because I know Robbo's been really close to rising for days, and I'd quite like to see if he can make it.
He's at 97.
97. I'm just going to have a look because Alonso's been rising fast again. Alonso's on 71 himself.
Yep. I think it was what, 4 hours left, 5 hours left.
Yeah.
I think you'll get away with it if you wait till tomorrow for news.
Yeah, I mean Robbo's on 3 green, 3 blue hours himself. So if I can get 0.1 out of Robbo without Alonso rising, that'd be fabulous.
Yeah. There you go.
Ings is rising.
Sorry? Ings is at 95.5 and on 3 and on 3 blues.
I might have to hold on to it before I move him to Jimenez.
There's quite a bit. There's 3 of them above the threshold right now. Wilson, Mendy, and Aguero.
Yeah.
It's like 5 again on a few blues and above 95%. So
yeah, at the bottom there's like Mkhitaryan's down there, King's down there. Again, Ericsson's down there.
Goes down there. He's just over, and we'll see.
All right, so AK.
All right, AK is on a wild card with this view, 5.5 in the bank. Thinking Mitrovic over Ings. Doesn't know how to fund it, though.
David Silva to Jesse Lingard.
Yeah, there you go.
With cash to spare.
Yeah.
I'm all for it.
You could even upgrade Yedlin with that money.
Yeah, he could. Yeah, I mean, you could do Wilson to Mitro, right now, right? 26.7.
Yeah, he could. But again, it's maybe not the best week to do that again. I want to see how he looks this week against Wolves, but again, Chris Wood could be a really nice differential for sort of game week 6, 7, and 8. So that might be one worth considering. But if he wanted Mitrovic, I think it has to come out of Silva for me. Unless he's prepared to risk going Salahless. Swap Salah for Mane, for example. And there's funding there. Otherwise, it's going to have to come out of David Silva.
You don't think Silva's worth it for the next few fixtures?
I do, but if he's saying that he wants to get Mitrovic in over Ings.
Yeah.
So realistically, there's no other way he's going to fund that other than losing one of Salah or David Silva.
I wouldn't get Mitrovic in over Ings personally, but yeah. To your point.
I like what he's built here, just as it is. So
yeah, I don't see anything wrong with it.
I wouldn't go screwing around to get Mitrovic. Yeah.
Maybe if he wanted to face Ings again, the answer is Jimenez. But
and they get it. Mitro's not going to rise by the end of the game week here. So
don't be so sure. He's on 97.8 right now.
Yeah, that's true. If he survives tonight, he could get sell Wilson for Mitrovic. As soon as the turnover happens tomorrow. So
yeah. Again, particularly with Wilson rising tonight. I mean, I don't know what price he paid for him, so.
Well, I mean, his sell is 6.2, so I would assume 6. Has he risen 4 times since then?
Well, he's risen. Yeah, I'm not sure what he's on now. Actually, I'll have a.
He's at 6.2 now, so actually he just bought.
6.2 now. So if he paid 6.1, he won't get. If he paid anything less than, if he paid an 6 or 6.2, he won't get anything out of it. Otherwise, he will.
I mean, it looks like in here he's not part of his team because he might have he did this and then hit the confirm button, right? So
yeah. So I think there's nothing wrong with the only other thing he could maybe do is spend that 0.5 on upgrading his or get Ward in for Camarasa maybe. I'd maybe change that given what we said today.
Sure.
Because it's 4.5 and you're getting a guy who's OOP, even if he does play for Cardiff.
I mean, he can't play. Ings can't play next week, correct?
Correct.
So what would he do here in this case? Go 4-4-2?
He could play Wan-Bissaka or Bennett, or he could bring in Ward, I guess.
You have to play both of them, Wan-Bissaka or Bennett, right? If you go 4-4-2.
Yeah.
Yeah, Wan-Bissaka's good.
Wan-Bissaka's perfectly feasible. Yeah, and you probably have to play Bennett or Ward.
Oh yeah, Ward. If he gets,
I would bring in Ward for Camarasa. I see no logic to not having Ward right now, given what Warnock said today.
Yeah, I agree.
What did Warnock say?
He said that Ward and Reed were the best two two strikers he had at the minute.
So Ward's the best 4.5.
So Ward is the 4.5. If you want a 4.5 mid, go forward. Like I know you have shown. Was it you? Was it you, boss? One of you's got. I saw Sjoberg knocking about in a wildcard team. Was it you, boss?
Who? Sorry.
Sjoberg.
Yeah, I've got Højbjerg, but that's only because he's 4.4 rather than 4.
Yeah, so if you could find 0.1 to turn him into Ward.
Yeah. So if this rises, I'll swap him to Jimenez because I'll gain 0.1 and then I'll upgrade him to Ward.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, I mean, so you've got 0.2 knocking about anyway.
Yeah, I've just hit confirm. I'm going with the non-seller team.
Nice.
And you get a lot more money than that. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm actually on perfectly 0 right now, so I can't afford.
Okay. So if Ings rises, so if he doesn't, maybe consider getting rid of Maddison or Trippier.
Well, I've got Walcott in there, so I've got Mane, Walcott, Hazard, Sterling as the midfield. So
right, I'm just going to bring up the draft you left.
I could do Walcott and bench him this week.
You could get Riku in, yeah.
All right. So AKR advice looks good as it is. Maybe get Ward as your 5th mid. All right.
Okay, there's a bonus RMT.
Oh, that's the con
This-
team.
This wonderful team. Yeah.
Right.
Two free transfers.
Well, we've got 2 free, so let's do something. I would maybe look to move out Mickey and King,
Yeah.
both dropping.
Yeah.
No
So-
Alonso.
The defense is pretty bad right now.
No
We could-
Alonso.
And,
We could do a mini wild card for -4.
I think Alonso has to be the priority.
Yep.
Yeah, we could do a little mini wild card. Get rid of King, Mickey, and Robbo. Or Shaw.
I would take a hit to get rid of King. I would just get rid of Mkhitaryan and probably Robertson for Alonso and any of the
That's right.
midfielders. I prefer Lingard, but
Well, I don't know. I mean, there's 0.2 in the bank. Mickey's 7.2, I think. So I'm not sure. If we're going for Robbo, we still need 0.6. So we've got
It's got
6.6.
Bernardo Silva as well. It's looking in a bad shape,
Jesus.
actually.
This is wildcard territory here.
Yeah, Mickey, Bernardo, King,
Firmino,
Shaw,
Kenny,
yeah.
Peltier. This is potential. This is potential wildcard territory.
I think you leave Bilver. I mean, they've got fixtures. He's going to play. I wouldn't worry about Bilver.
Well, you
yeah, I
think
guess it makes sense to keep Bilbao.
Yeah, and maybe so. Look at the mid. So we've got maybe 6.6 if we for Mickey if we wanted to move Robbo for Alonso. So Maddison is the obvious choice at that price.
Yeah.
Pereira's in there. Richarlison and stick him on the bench, but again we've got Walcott. Schürrle, maybe. Schürrle's an option.
It'd be worth logging into the team and seeing how it looks when we take Rob to Alonso and Mickey to Maddison.
Yeah, well, that's dead on. That's bang on the money.
And then
So we
eat
can't
the cake.
afford Pedro or Lingard, right?
Sorry?
We can't afford Pedro or Lingard, right?
No, we have 6. We're with 0.2. We need 0.8 to turn Robertson to Alonso. So we need 0.6, and Mkhitaryan is 7.2.
He's
just
7.1
get
sell
Madison.
price.
You sell one.
7.1 sell price. Oh, in that case, we can't even afford Madison. We only have 6.5.
6.4 is the max for that spot. Wow.
6.4.
Yeah.
Pereira.
Pereira might be the only one.
Pereira's the best bet for me at that price.
Yeah, Pereira, Nervais, but that's depends really
I
on.
would probably pick Schürrle, I think.
Or Schürrle. Yeah. Schürrle.
Picture wise, I would do that. I would do Schürrle.
And are there any options if we did Shaw to Alonso? Who could we get in for
Oh,
Mickey?
crikey.
Well, then
I
you
mean,
got
Shaw's what? 5.1?
Yeah.
Shaw's
So we
5
need-
sell
We need
price.
1.5 million out of Mkhitaryan if
And
we're
it's
selling.
Mickey the Ward. And it's Mickey the
Yeah. And I would argue we're actually making the team worse doing that.
Yeah.
I'd probably go with, since we only have 6.4, I'd go with Mkhitaryan and Robertson to Alonso and to Pereira and Alonso.
The other option is do a mini wild card and maybe lose Firmino.
Or Schürrle. Say we could also do King, get rid of one of Firmino or King. If we got Shea Schürrle in, we've got about $500,000 to play with. So we could upgrade King or swap Firmino for, say, Vardy.
I won't sell Firmino for a hit this week. I think there's a lot of potential in the pool attack tomorrow.
Right. If we were going to take it, if we were going to take a hit, I'd probably go for King.
What about keeping Mickey and selling Firmino? Gives us a lot more money. We could upgrade
Mkhitaryan has to
Peltier
be
then.
Yeah.
Well, it depends on how confident we feel in Mkhitaryan starting this week. And bearing in mind he's dropping.
Yeah, we have 0.1. He can afford to drop.
Yeah, if he bought him at 7, yes. If he bought him at 7.1.
Okay, so we can afford the drop.
Yeah. So that's the
So forget the drop. So if we sold, so we need 0.8.
Yep. So Firmino's now 9.4.
I think late risers come in.
He has indeed. He's only. Do you think he's driving again?
Yeah. We are always his companion on his trips.
Yeah. So at 9.4, so we need 0.6. So we have 8.9 on a striker if we sold.
For me,
8, sorry, isn't it? 8.
Oh,
If we sold Firmino.
Oh, just shy of Vardy, yeah.
So realistically, there's not really many strikers. We'd have to go budget anyway. We'd have to go for Mitro, someone like that anyway, because for 8, there's basically nothing between about 9 mil and about 7 mil.
Yep.
So if we went with Firmino, it doesn't give us many. The only thing Firmino might do is it might allow us to turn, say, Peltier into
exactly.
Alonso. So we could do something like we could get Mitro or Zaha in for Firmino.
Firmino and Mitro gives you close to 3 million, which is more than enough to get Peltier to Alonso.
Yeah, so if we turned it into Zaha, if we went for Zaha or Mitro, we could maybe turn Peltier into Alonso that way.
And that gives you a 4-4-2 this week, or 4-3-3 even maybe this week.
Well, we can't play Shaw, so we could play Wan-Bissaka or Mkhitaryan.
Yep. So if you play Wan-Bissaka, you got 4 at the back.
Yeah.
Robo, Alonso, Wan-Bissaka. You would go Salah. I think Bilba's going to play, so that would be 2, and then probably Walcott, and then the other 3. I would play Mitro against City. I wouldn't bench him.
I mean, you could even would Zaha give us enough? Because I'm thinking you could probably get Zaha in.
Zaha should, yeah. Zaha.
So you could go for Zaha or Mitrovic and turn Peltier into Alonso. That might be better than Robertson.
So Zaha is 7. So we'd have 2.4. We've got 2 in the bank, so that's 2.6. So Peltier plus 2.6 is 6.5.
We haven't got enough then. Does Mitro even give us enough in that case? Just, I think.
Yeah.
Mitro gives us bang on the money, but we'd have to do it tonight because Mitro might rise.
What about Ings or Jimenez?
Ings or Jimenez we could do easily enough without a problem. Ings is close to a rise as well. Jimenez nowhere near. Ings is close to a rise.
I might be tempted Firmino to Ings and Peltier to Alonso.
I'd do something like that. Firmino to Mitrovic, Ings or Jimenez and turn Peltier into Alonso with our 2 frees.
Yep. And you could sort out King or Mkhitaryan next week.
Okay, so just one more thing. Instead, we forget Alonso and we turn Mickey into Hazard by selling Firmino. Or should we get Alonso's where the money is? Isn't
I think Alonso, yeah.
I think Alonso. Yeah, I mean the other option is to keep Peltier, turn Robertson into Alonso, and turn Mkhitaryan into Hazard for -4.
Yeah.
Would that work?
Say again. I'll do the math real quick.
If we sold Firmino to say Ings, and Robertson to Alonso, would we have enough left to turn Mkhitaryan into Hazard?
So Firmino to Ings gives you 3.8 million plus the 2 gives you 4. Then what was the second move?
So Robertson to Alonso knocks us 0.8 off that total.
That's 3.2.
So then Mkhitaryan leaves us how much?
10.3
plus 3.2 is 10.3.
So not enough for Hazard.
Not enough for Hazard.
Okay.
Right. So, I mean, we can get Hazard in without Alonso, but we have to pick between the 2. I would say that I reckon Peltier to Alonso is a better exchange than Mkhitaryan to Hazard.
I agree.
Yep.
I agree.
I did a similar move already this week. I did Peltier to Alonso, and I actually sold Walcott to Billing before the latest news, but I thought Alonso was needed for this week.
Yeah.
All right. Who's going to make the changes for the Cums team?
Should we put it to the vote on the group?
We should. Yeah, we should. So JO sees it or someone else who has the code sees it. All right. Anything else today?
I think we're done.
No, I think we're just about done.
Right. All right, then, everyone. Been a good cast. Everyone, good luck with your game weeks. Hopefully, you all have good luck. CCL starts this week, so best of luck to all you guys in your ties.
Yeah, thank you.
Looking forward to it. And have a great week, everyone.
Yep.
Yeah, me too.
Next week.
Hey guys.
Night.
Yeah, bye.
All right.